So the point is, make sure that you guys are doing where you start as an entrepreneur may not be where you finish, but you can still leave the corporate plantation and start figuring out what are you passionate about, right? So one of the questions that I get asked often is, do you have to have a college education to be an entrepreneur, right? And sometimes people ask, and I'm going to ask you guys too, I have a bachelor's, I have an MBA, and I'm in the process of doing a PhD. And they're like, that's a lot of school. Well, I'm an entrepreneur, so technically, I don't need none of those things, right? The MBA, they don't teach you nothing about business. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, masters, they don't teach you nothing about business, especially as an entrepreneur. But I know a couple of you guys have degrees. Do you use your degree for entrepreneurship? And if somebody were to ask you, do you need education from an academic standpoint to become an entrepreneur, what would your answer be?
For me, kind of. Right? Sort of. So I received my degree in psychology with a minor in business management for my bachelor's, and then my master's degree is in industrial organizational psychology. It sounds fancier than it is. It's just psychology of businesses. But that is more so training and development. And I do training and development. I help people to build their business. So I train them, right? But I didn't learn any of that stuff in my master's degree program. I learned what I learned from watching Dr. Boyce Watkins, from being in my mentor program. So kind of, I'm doing what I went to school for, but I didn't learn any of that stuff. So I'm still operating in my passion, which is to help businesses grow, help people to get to that, help my people specifically get to that next phase in their life, but not from college.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I would say the only thing that college taught me is, because it taught me nothing about design, decor and design. But what it did teach me is how to stick to a goal, how to set a goal, stick to it, and accomplish it, right? And I think that's mostly what school taught me. But for decor and design, most of it is self-taught, or I go out and mentorship, finding a mentor that does the same thing that you aspire to do. And self-education, like, I don't know how many YouTube videos I've learned different things. I don't know how many blogs I've gone to. It's so much information, publications. I don't even want to know how many books I've purchased on decor and design, but the only difference between us and anybody who hasn't started is just the willpower to want to go out and get the information. It's out there for you. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to obtain it. If I had someone at 18 years old come to me and tell me what I'm telling you guys, I would have never gone to college. I would have just started my entrepreneurial journey right there and probably been much further than I am now. So yeah, so we teach our kids, it's okay if you don't want to go to college. We're okay with that. If you want to start a business, come on. What's your idea? We're going to pour into it and try to make you as successful as we can, but we're here to set legacies for our children, and it looks totally different than it did when we were coming up.
So I'm going to ask this question. It's just a little bit deeper than what the question I literally just asked, because I know people probably want to know. Like, I want to go to the corporate plantation. I'm just getting started. Hell, some entrepreneurs need to know this answer too, right? Mm-hmm. Where do I go to get the education that I need to start a business?